welcome to the much anticipated championship playoff semifinal. Our first matchup here is Raidman Mucha against Mr. Blue GG. My name is Atomo, and I'm joined as always by my co-caster Calamity. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty great. Yeah, I've been waiting for this for a while, and we have some players in kind of very different forms here going into these playoffs, Calamity.
Yeah, Raidman's just been very consistent the whole season. I think this is the first time I've ever seen an average points of above 24,000 on anyone. And compared to that, Mr. Blue, he started very well into the season and then just kind of tailed off. And the last few weeks have been pretty average from him, I'd say, average for a Division 1 player. And that meant he also lost his first place in the table and now has to go up against Raidman. He does have still a few more aces. But yeah, I have to favor Raidman going into this one, despite Mr. Blue having more points in regular season, just because of how the form looks.
Yeah, and especially on a world map, which is a little bit kinder to mistakes, at least. That gives Raidman a very, very good chance, and given Mr. Blue's run of form, I do definitely think we have to favor slightly here the returning finalist. Raidman was second in the playoff run last season, losing out to Simi in the final. So we'll see how things go for them here. Our map to separate these two is AI Generated World by Rolling Hill. Average score of 13,981, over 80,000 locations. It has been played almost 40,000 times and 724 likes. It is a very popular world map alternative to the kind of official world map that Geoguessr puts out. It is balanced based on size and coverage. And probably the most interesting about this map is there's actually a spreadsheet that you can open up that shows you how many locations are in each country. So it is quite a kind of statistician's very nice dream to have something like that to look at for this one. But I think you mentioned it in our Reddit League show, Calamity, but this map plays very rural,
Yep.
Given the fact that it is AI generated.
Yeah, for sure. You can just look at the countries that are in it by, their, what is it called? I don't know. It's too early for me. But you can see there are like 3,000 locations in the US, 3,700 in Brazil, 2,700 in Russia. Like the most any European country has is 1,400 with France. And even France has a lot of very rural areas. So it makes sense to be pretty rural. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Size does factor into this. So the bigger a country is, the more locations it will have. So we should expect to see some Russia, Brazil, America, Canada guesses in here, hopefully, for that one. Or we could just have a really statistically weird seed and not see any of that. Without further ado, let us jump right into this matchup and see how it goes in this semifinal playoff between these two players. And very dry, dusty location to start us off, Calamity.
Yeah, so about that ruralness. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
No.
these are the sort of locations where you start and you're like, where do I even go? Just probably
they
just
both picked
go.
opposite directions at least.
Yeah.
So
I'm definitely interested to see what you can find to the western side, because I walked east when I played this round.
okay, so we'll see if Raidman give anything in the western direction. And yeah, it's basically going to be a 3-minute clicking competition.
Yep.
And see who goes furthest and can find the sign first. But just based off geography, Calamity, any guesses?
I mean, those kind of things are always hard for me to answer, because obviously I know where the location is because I've played the seed. But I can just tell you what I thought while I was playing it, which was it could be either somewhere in South America, although I didn't really have anything more specific than that, or it's Botswana. It could have maybe potentially been a very weird Australia location, but it just didn't really look right for that.
Yeah, that sort of guess that sort of latitude kind of works, like maybe something in Brazil, South Africa to Australia kind of thing. Australia was my first go-to, as I was simply clicking through just to see what the scores were. I didn't really play them. I was just throwing pins down. But yeah, it definitely feels like a South Africa, Australia location. That those huts are a bit of a good clue. I don't think we see those in South America.
Yeah.
That'll be something for Raidman. Probably narrowing down to Africa indeed. Looks like he has had the better results so far with about 40 seconds to go. He's found some kind of town at least, but that's about it.
Yeah.
No writing, no signs, just...
Still looks like going west was the better direction. A donkey.
Very good. Yeah, east for Mr. Blue. Not a whole lot. Picking some small rural roads in South Africa. No, he is in Botswana. He's just across the border. So the roads I were seeing were actually all in South Africa. So both of them are picking Botswana. We'll see who's closer. Well, Raidman, thank you for the nice big screen there. 4,721 points for him. And for Mr. Blue here, we'll get him. There we go. 3,997. So both of them in the right country. But yeah, Mr. Blue, unfortunately, way far south. So a very rough opening seed for Mr. Blue there, Calamity.
Yeah, pretty much just landscape guesser. Mr. Blue didn't find a single thing. Raidman at least found a bit of architecture, but still not enough.
Yeah, not enough for either one of them there. So not much you can really blame them for either, though. Not a whole lot of options to work with. We'll get ourselves here set up for round number 2. Here we go. And yellow license plates. Like some Spanish there. And Bogota.
Yep.
There we go. For
Autopista
Raidman.
Medellin, Bogota.
So we'll find ourselves in Colombia for round number 2. And again, it just appears that Mr. Blue took off west and missed that.
Yeah, technically the sign Raidman found was everything you need. You don't need anything else in this round.
And unfortunately for Mr. Blue, he's going to travel quite a ways to the west to try to find something that rivals that sign. East, definitely the way to go here, Calamity. Lots of clues and hints.
Yep.
For Raidman. I think it's pretty obvious you're in something like Colombia, if not Colombia itself for both of them. Tropical South American kind of country, but definitely the direct clues for Raidman. There we go. PR19. Mr. Blue, so let's see if he can do anything with that. Raidman, half the time gone, is looking for a road that might match the location.
Hasn't been lucky so far.
Nope. Gotta be there somewhere. Mr. Blue, in the meantime, yet to find anything. Give him much help. A little bit of Spanish there.
There we go. Raidman finally finds it.
There we go. Now back to that starting location. So PR17 must be the distance, not the actual road number.
Yeah.
What does PR stand for then?
I have no idea.
Oh, interesting sign markage. Oh, there we go. There's a green sign, and there's Medina and Ocorna. So that'll give finally some clues.
He's just called Medellin Medina.
There's an N on the end, right?
Yeah, on the end, not in the middle.
Medellin?
Medellin.
Medellin. Oh, that's right. Double L in Spanish, right?
Yes. Raidman's not too far away. He's found Cocorna. Then he now needs to go onto the actual road.
There you go. There's some points of interest you might be able to use to help him. But with time running out, it will be 4,992 points for Raidman, 4,919 points for Mr. Blue. So again, in the similar location, but just not able to quite find it. Definitely going the wrong way on that one. Able to salvage himself some hope. Didn't fall too much farther behind, but again, very rough. Just really unlucky, Mr. Blue here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just didn't really find much. Yeah.
How much you can really say? Just Raidman saw signs, Mr. Blue didn't, and what do you know? Raidman did a little better in his pinpointing. As we'll jump into round number 3 here. And another rural location. Looks like it might be paved, but that's about it.
Looks very Mediterranean.
Yeah, Mediterranean vibe. English on the stop sign. Well, at least, yeah. I guess stop is just used in many countries,
Yes.
So it does rule out something like Turkey, which I believe has a different one.
Yep.
That sign, though, MA something, will be put us in Spain.
Yep. Correct.
Yeah. Here we go. Oh, Palma. There we go. So we're on the island as well. Unless you can drive across the ocean here.
You can't. Well, you can with a boat, but...
Well, that driving, that's more like sailing, isn't it?
I mean, if the boat doesn't have a sail, it's not sailing.
When you can boat, then? You can boat across?
I've never heard that.
You never said go boating?
No.
Boat? It's a verb. I actually hear most people say sailing when there is no sail, because they just use it for any kind of boat. But that intersection helping them both out. Very useful. Lots of road numbers to pinpoint. Now they got to work their way backwards to find that starting location.
Yep.
1:20 to go. And there's a road sign for Raidman there at the junction. Which one might match? Got to find a name on something.
Yeah.
De Contrist.
That is the name of the side road, but the question is just, is that also on the map?
Yeah, is it on the map? It doesn't appear so. They're trying to count roads now. They got 45 seconds to do that. Also, clues what's along the road can give it away. Where are those side roads? What kind of buildings might be around? Not many buildings, but there are some gray squares on the map at least.
Yeah. If you've got the time, you might look at different side roads. Just go out of your small road and go down the road, maybe 1 or 2 roads, and try the other direction. See if those road names are on the map. If you're unsure about which road you're on.
And Raidman, unfortunately, getting a black screen, has to reload. A bit of a glitch there for him. Oh no!
Oh,
got to reload his page.
5 seconds.
There
left.
we go.
Doesn't matter.
Not much is going to change, and it was actually close enough. An ace, he was already there. 4,999 for Mr. Blue, so they both got that road. But again, Mr. Blue just a tad bit too far off, missed out on an ace, and drops another further point in this one. But the most straightforward round, at least so far, Calamity, with all those signs.
Yeah, for sure. There's not much you could have done wrong there, as long as you know Mallorca. But yeah, and 1 point here is not going to decide anything.
Okay, well then let us jump into round number 4. See what we've got in store for us here.
Trees.
And what do you know? Trees.
Trees.
Rural. Unpaved road.
Yay.
Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of good and bad here. It's good in the sense that Mr. Blue definitely needs a location like this to try to make up those points.
Mm.
He's down by just under 1,000, but the bad thing is it's going to be hard to get those points.
Yep.
So there we are in South Korea, as there is no North Korean coverage, at least not officially.
The bad thing is it's South Korea.
Yeah, yeah. So again, great chance for Mr. Blue here if he can pull it off. Well, that's really interesting. There's a lot of military vehicles along this road. I don't think you see that. I don't think you see that in too many locations except for near the border. So
Could be.
Yeah.
Or there's a military base nearby.
True. But I actually don't know how scattered South Korean military bases are. It's probably a very closely guarded secret, so
yeah,
I probably won't know it.
It's nothing I've ever thought about.
Yeah. But given the nature of at least all the, if you have to make a guess, you might as well guess the border, I guess, here, because it's not enough else to work with. A couple road signs and whatnot, but again, they're very small. These green signs that they've seen a couple times might be their best bet.
Looks
but
like
again,
like a decent sign for Raidman. I mean, about as decent as it's gonna get.
Yeah, exactly. Now scan and hope you see one of those cities. And there's Sokocha. Well, that'll help him out a lot, at least putting him on the right side of the country. It looks like it's just not Mr. Blue's day.
Yep.
Traveling a different direction, down a different road. It's just not gonna. Oh, actually, no, he's on the same road.
I've no.
He came around the corner.
I have no idea which direction they went to find that sign, because I feel like I went every way possible and just didn't find a sign at all. I'll have to watch that back.
Now we'll see if Mr. Blue. There's South Korea. Can find it. See if he can find the village name. Very zoomed out view, trying to find that village, and there it is. Is his eyes gonna spot it? Nope. And time will run out. So Raidman will get a better of that one. 4,946 points. Mr. Blue 4,255. So he's putting up some decent scores here, Mr. Blue, but just kind of like a day late and $1 short every single round. Calamity.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, you just found the sign a bit too late. If he had known where exactly Sokcho is, then, which is not unreasonable. Like, it is a pretty decently sized city, at least on the map. I don't know how big it actually is in terms of population, but he didn't. So he ends up with less points than he would have wanted. And at this point, it seems pretty unlikely that he'd still have a chance of winning this game.
So let's get into the final round here. Just about 1,500 points separating these two. That's quite a margin to try to have to make up in a single round. But again, wide open roads. And again, Mr. Blue goes the wrong way.
It's quite a margin. Quite a margin to make up if you're in Europe.
Yep, especially if you're in Europe. Road signs with town names for Raidman. We'll throw him in the Czech Republic right away.
Yep.
There's the road numbers. And within 30 seconds, game over.
Yep, GG.
Pretty much a small little town name for Mr. Blue. But, I mean, what can... Oh, there's a road number for him, as I was about to go off on a tangent. That'll help him out a little bit if he recognizes it. But, I mean, what are you to do, Calamity? You kind of just go the wrong way? You don't see anything?
Yes.
Is there something you can practice? Is that something you can try to get a better kind of feel for? Or is that just kind of the luck aspect of Geoguessr?
There are some rounds where you can say, okay, it definitely makes more sense to go that way. But in a lot of what we've seen today, it's really just luck.
Yeah. So there's a big change in scenery we were talking about. From beautiful summer to winter.
From
There's some more.
way too hot summer to beautiful winter.
Mm-hmm. There you go. There's a village name for Mr. Blue as well. So he is finding information. He has technically seen as much as Raidman has in terms of the road and the local village names.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
But I think the signs have been less helpful in that pinpointing, though.
Yeah, I sort of have a feeling I remember Oberts being a river in Czechia. It says there on the sign in top Vitavas Oberts, but I'm not sure anymore. It might be something that's just very similar.
And Raidman will, in fact, guess early, getting that ace and sealing his second final appearance, his second consecutive one. With that, Mr. Blue here, just to try to put up a decent score to make the match look as close as possible. But yeah, a very rough day for Mr. Blue, and that regular season form definitely carries over for him into the playoffs here.
Yeah, and by the way, Obits just means municipality.
So, is it related to Oblast? Is like a state in Russian, so never mind.
I don't think it is.
There was something there for a second, and then nope. But no, Mr. Blue definitely a really, really good player. Well, he was second in the regular season, so he will be in Division 1 again with another crack at the title again next season. 4,836 to finish up for him. There's that little village with the little waggle of the mouse. As we'll see, his final score 23,006 points. So even compared to that, a very good score overall. But Raidman 24,659, proving to be quite the opponent in that one. And so yeah, congratulations to Raidman. We'll see you in the final. Mr. Blue, better luck in next season for that one. But yeah, any final thoughts on this matchup, Calamity?
Yeah, it kind of went how we expected it to go in terms of the outcome, but overall, it was just an unlucky game for Mr. Blue. Yeah. Came down to Botswana and South Korea, where in Botswana, neither of them really had any information, so I'd say that's probably less down to luck. But yeah, in South Korea, both of them saw the same sign eventually as well, but Raidman just saw it a bit quicker. Yeah.
Yeah, we know that Mr. Blue is not the fastest of players, and maybe in some of these rural locations that hurts him a bit, where he does find the information, but if he doesn't know it right away, he has very little time to scan that map, where a more speedy player like Raidman gets to the location that's good first, sees that sign, and has even 10, 15 seconds is enough to scan the area and find that little village name or road. So it really paid off for him and will serve him well in the final matchup. Yeah, so we'll try to bring you a couple other playoff and decider matches this week. So definitely hit that subscribe and bell button if you don't want to miss these. And we'll see you all next time. Take care.
Bye.